It's a completely unique mountain biking experience. Totally unique. It's unlike any other, and it's a true mountain biking experience. It's single track, it's everything.
We use this tour as our main fundraiser for Children in the Wilderness, where we actually run eco clubs, and we are in communication with close to 3,000 to 4,000 children on a weekly basis. Part of the whole program is to educate children in the long term for the protection and conservation of these pristine wildlife areas. And we also like to give them some hope about the future, that by protecting these environments, their lives will become much better.
It is the day before the tour starts at the Limpopo Valley Airfield in Botswana. The Coleman tent towns are already erected, and surely the tour's volunteers prepare for the arrival of the cyclists. The airfield is located just north of Pont Drift near All Days, on the Botswana side. Some of the tour participants arrive in private airplanes and helicopters. For most people, this is an international location, and the Botswana government gladly welcomes those who arrive. Luggage is transported across the Limpopo River with large trucks, where those who came via land start sorting out their gear for the journey ahead. Some make use of the suspended cable cart crossing, where for a small fee, operators assist you in safely making it over the river without getting your feet wet. For many of those who arrive, it is the first time in this sort of wilderness. Signs of wildlife can be seen everywhere. Signs that build anticipation for what is to come. Botswana's border post is well equipped and prepared for the influx of people, and soon the cyclists can start collecting their bicycles and baggage from the trucks. Considering that the closest larger town is well beyond cell phone signal, Children in the Wilderness did quite a job to prepare for the cyclists. Their teams have already ensured that everything is perfect when the cyclists arrive. One of the Children in the Wilderness camps join in to celebrate the arrival of the participants. They get to explore a bit of the airfield and participate in team building exercises, specially developed to enhance the concept of Poto, which roughly means I am because you are.
Children in the Wilderness would really like to welcome you to this, their 10th mountain biking fundraising event, the Nedbank Tour de Tuli. Please give them a huge hand, ladies and gentlemen. This has to be one of the most unique mountain biking events in the world. We're really excited to be part of this event, and all the cyclists and everybody. I'd just like to briefly welcome some of the dignitaries here this evening. From the Ministry of Environment, Wildlife and Tourism, the Honourable Minister Chikedi Kama from Botswana.
So I once again want to thank Children in the Wilderness, Wilderness Safaris, all the sponsors, everybody here, Nedbank, the whole lot. Masha to all of you. I thank you so much for bringing this event to Botswana. And I also want to assure you that as long as I am in this ministry, we will welcome you with open arms, totally, wholeheartedly, and warm. Have a wonderful time, enjoy your ride, and thank you so much. Thank you.
We were told last night that there's lots of elephant around, so we're hoping to see some elephant as we start this morning. Possibly some hyena. We saw some hyena last time, and then we see some tide riders towards the end of the day. The biggest obstacle, trying to keep up with Delta One and protecting Delta One. It's important for us to keep them safe in case there's emergencies.
It is 6 o'clock. The first teams gather in their groups to be dispersed into the greater expanse of the Botswana wilderness. A tangible excitement can be felt as they mentally prepare themselves for it. 68 kilometers of wild African bush await the cyclists. 68 kilometers where wildlife walk freely and without borders. Most of the tour is on single track, and sometimes there just isn't a road at all. Each group has an appointed leader who has preloaded maps of the routes on specialized GPSs so as to not get lost. Day 1 starts at the Limpopo Valley airfield and roughly heads eastward. Each day has a couple of dedicated waypoints assisted by the Land Rover Club. 1 tea stop and 1 brunch stop. This is to ensure that though the environment is entirely remote, there is always help in the form of assistance and well-trained doctors on the route.
So riding in the Nedbank Tour to Tuli has been one of the greatest experiences of my life. I mean, where on earth would you ever get an opportunity to ride in Big Five territory? It's just been phenomenal, crossing borders in the middle of nowhere. And I think for me as well, the cause that we are riding for, Children in the Wilderness, is just such a brilliant cause. I'm a Children in the Wilderness ambassador. We have got this beautiful land that we need to look after for future generations. And it's just such a privilege to be part of that. And this cause, the Nedbank Tour to Tuli, raises funds to do just that thing.
About 20 kilometers into the field, the first tea stop waits for the cyclists. Snacks like fresh fruits, biltong, protein bars and energy drinks are made readily and freely available to the cyclists. For those who have chain problems or other chafing problems, Squirt is packed out and lends a helping hand to those with tired legs.
It's been a fairly long, tough first day for Tour to Tuli. Good elephant sighting, about 150 elephants. Very nice. So, but otherwise, lekker ride so far.
Elephants, yeah, plenty. At one stage we got stuck between two herds. One was moving behind us, the one was moving in front of us, and the one was coming from the left of us, so we sort of dodged in between them. But as you know, it was quite nice that the guys ahead of us were sort of directing us through, so it was quite exciting.
The day progresses and takes the cyclists past iconic field views such as Pride Rock, aptly named for its uncanny resemblance to the film's location. Giant rock beds and domed hills make for an interesting and bumpy ride.
So it's been tough. But luckily I've got lots of backseat drivers that keep giving me advice, and so far the advice has been good. So it's really beautiful out here and it's a real privilege to be here.
A quick rest stop at Lenswe Lemoriti Wall, a massive stone wall on the border of the Limpopo River, ensures that the cyclists have adequate energy as they head towards the campsite through the town of Lenswe Lemoriti. On the way they encounter some locals. of these children will benefit from the Children in the Wilderness campaign, otherwise left without communication from the outside world.
Organisation is unbelievable for Tuli. Can't believe the setup. There's showers, there's loos, there's breakfast. We had lamb on the spit last night.
The best food I think I've ever eaten, better than any place, any hotel, which is a bit of a problem because all you want to do is eat. But we're fortunately going to be able to cycle the majority of that weight off, we hope today. And we're very excited. It's an incredible ride.
I grew up in Cape Town, but I now live in Sydney, so I'm a long way away, and always attracted to coming back to Africa. And friends of mine have done this the last couple of years, and they've been persuading me to do it, so finally I'm here and absolutely loving it. The first day was fantastic, everything I expected. Very dusty, but the scenery was just super, and the camaraderie in our group was wonderful, so having a good time.
Day 2 takes our cyclists from Botswana's Amphitheatre's Bush Camp to Zimbabwe's Sashi Wilderness Camp through roughly 63 kilometers of wilderness. The first section comprises a bushveld with the occasional dry river crossing, a formidable foe that sends many a cyclist to the ground. Today sees much more wildlife, and the occasional baobab makes for the perfect backdrop for group photos.
Not often you get the opportunity to come out.
The crossing into Zimbabwe occurs at the informal border post, and governments from both countries come together to make the crossing happen seamlessly. Every cyclist checks into the neighboring country and takes the time to have brunch and gather some energy as the vast trek through Zimbabwe is still ahead of them. The Sashi River is a very wide stretch of thick sand and marks the end of Day 2's journey. Cycling through this sand is very difficult, and after almost a kilometer of sand, the cyclists are fairly happy to reach the opposite side, where authentic local craft drinks and showers await the accomplished cyclists. The tent town is pitched inside the river, with a specially built bridge to ensure a dry crossing over the sparse rivulet. Soon the night greets the groups where dinner is served. Interesting facts surrounding the history of the area is shared by Rob Kasky, a world-renowned storyteller. A highly qualified team of volunteers is recruited to take care of the cyclists, from medical doctors to people carefully and thoroughly cleaning all the bicycles. The tour is now halfway, and though the cyclists had ample time to freshen up at the warm showers, they know exactly what lies ahead. A group of locals live here, and with nothing like this happening the rest of the year, they step outside to gander at the cyclists riding by. Each group stops at the Limpopo Primary School to show face and visit the children.
We take children from the communities into the camps and we treat them as guests, but we have quite a strict curriculum with them. And we teach them about anti-poaching and conservation and the circle of life, and then it inspires them to come and work in the game reserve rather than go back to the cities. And it makes sense because they live here and they understand this environment, and it helps to sustain the families that live around.
The reason for this visit is to distribute school bags to all the learners. This is a great opportunity for the cyclists to participate in what the purpose of this tour is, to uplift the children in these communities.
Wonderlike ondervinding. Dis regtig fantasties om hier te wees.
But it's exceeded every expectation that we had. Been absolutely amazing. The organisation is great. Catering is brilliant. The route is awesome.
As the participants draw to the close of yet another pristine day in Africa, rumours start to meddle into the conversations about the grandeur of Fly Camp, situated on a high hill in the area, with stunning views as far back as the South African border. This is the perfect backdrop for reminiscing over the recent days gone by and to reflect upon the day of tomorrow.
This event speaks to Nedbank on so many levels. First of all, it's about conservation. It's been a beautiful journey to walk with children in the wilderness, to see the role they play in educating the future generation about the value of conservation. And finally, of course, it's a huge privilege for all the riders, and full credit to all our sub-sponsors who helped make this event happen. And we hope to see you at the 11th edition in 2015.
The last day is a stretch from Fly Camp in Zimbabwe to South Africa's Mapungubwe National Park, The Zimbabwean government and the Pawn Drift border control from South Africa ensures a swift entry into South Africa with the front shoved in no man's land under the trees next to the Great Limpopo River.
Abby and I, who were doing the sweeping, we came across Ian Forbes, and he was making phone calls on satellite phones. Ian Forbes has pledged 10,000 Rand to say thank you for the use of the satellite phones. Thank you, Ian. Thank you so much to Nedbank and all the other sponsors. Nedbank, we couldn't do this without you. Coleman, all these head torches, the tents and everything, I think over 300 grand's worth of stuff donated to the tour this year. Coleman, thank you so much. Hover Dynamics, Europcar, Diesel Power, you fully sponsored 10 vehicles for us to use on the event. Thank you so much. Supergroup have been absolutely phenomenal this year. They've done everything possible to get all the supplies to the camps.
After the conclusion of the tour, everyone involved shared in the unity created by the nature of this event. Friendships were forged out of the sweat and grind collected in the wilderness. Most importantly, everyone shared in the very real reason that they were all there. Children in the wilderness.
It just moved on to looking after the children and teaching the children about the wilderness, to carry it forward and to teach them about the wilderness, about nature, and that is what the future holds. It's in these guys' hands.